Hi guys, and we're going to do episode 3 today of the beginner's guide to Factorio, where we're going to be turning our base from using coal miners into using electric miners and starting to automate the base. So if you're looking forward to doing that, or you're having some troubles doing that, then please listen closely, follow along, and we will learn to set up our first power plant, learn to use some belts, basic belt use, and basic inserter use. We'll also be ditching these miners and turning them into electric miners. So let's go and look, guys. So in the last video we made some miners which were coal powered, and as you can see with this one here in particular, they can run out of coal, and when they run out of coal they don't do anything, which makes it useless. So you have to constantly run towards it and fill it up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the iron that's in there, like so. I'm going to get the coal that's in this one, because that copper, sorry, that's in that one. Let's pop that there. And I'm going to collect some more coal from there. So the items we're going to need are water, and we're going to have to start a little power plant. We're going to start a little power plant. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out, and we're going to think, okay, so here's some water there. Now, because this is just the starting area where we're going to get up and going, it doesn't make too much sense to try and plan everything out really neatly, because of this map is very big and we will expand, and then we can always plan it later. Because a lot of people get very worked up about making these massive bases that are all neat and have sections in them, but at the beginning of the game, as a newbie to the game, or someone who's been playing the game a little while, that isn't the main aim of the game. The main aim of the game is not to make big bases, make them all neat. It's nice once you get to grips with all the basics of the game. It's really nice to make big bases that have sections, trains, integration, and they all work very seamlessly. But we will get onto that. You will learn all the basic things you need to know how to do that. But for now, we're just going to build here. So it's literally a case of we're going to build where we can. So I know that the coal and our patches are here, so this is where the closest bit of water is, so we'll use this bit of water. So what you're going to need is an offshore pump, a boiler, and 2 steam engines. Now these all can be found in the production tab. So once you've got those items made, if you don't know how to make them, guys, the recipes are there. So if you don't have the materials, it says underneath them. So it says the boiler has 5 stone, 4 iron. It says a steam engine needs 31 iron. And it says the offshore pump needs 3 copper, 5 iron. So you can just click and drag these down to your bar at the bottom. Also go over to the logistics tab and make some small electric pylons. So these make 2 each time. So it's 2 small electric pylons is 1 wood, 1 copper. So 1 wood, 1 copper make 2 pylons. So if you just right click on them, because you're going to need a few. So that's made 10. So don't forget, anything this says is doubled. So that's made 10. Also, grab yourself a burner inserter. So there's 2 types of inserters you start the game with. One is a burner inserter and one is an inserter. So a burner inserter is an inserter that is powered by coal. An inserter is powered by electric. So it says underneath it, if you read, it says burner inserter, it says consumes burnable fuel, The electric inserter says consumes electricity. They say it on them. So we want burner inserter because of what's going to happen is we're going to create a power plant down here using the items that we've got there, using steam engines. I'll show you exactly how to do that. This is how you produce power for your base at the beginning of the game. We're going to take the miners here. We're going to feed a conveyor belt of coal down to the power plant, which is going to continuously feed the boiler, which then powers the steam engines, which keeps the electric going in our base. So first of all, you want to take your offshore pump and you want to put it on your map. Now, when you're placing it down, you have to think about where it's going, because these all have arrows on them. If I zoom in, I'll mine myself out the way a little bit. So you can see the offshore pump goes in and it shows you a little water droplet on it and then an arrow. So it's saying water going that way. So this is the boiler. And now this needs to connect to the water. So if I put it there, it shows you that there's a water droplet there, so that means them two go together. But then it has this little icon here, which is a steam icon. And you take your steam engine here, and you literally connect it like so. And then you can put another one there. So it's a maximum of 2 onto a boiler. So a boiler can power 2 steam engines. The pump can actually power 20 of these in parallel. So if you had another one of these, you could put it here, and then another one, and another one, and another one, up to 20. All of them, 20, could power these. So one pump can power 40. You don't need to know all this information, but it's just a general tip, just in case you didn't know already. One pump can power 20 of these, and 20 of these can power, well, each one of them can power 2 of them. So the reason I've put 2 down is to give us a fair bit of electricity. We're not going to get into the technical bits of how much electricity each one is producing and stuff yet. We will later on in a few videos time, but not at the moment. So then what you want to do is you want to go and get your burner inserter. And you want to put it just anywhere along the bottom here. Now, with inserters, there is a flat line and a pointed line. So the pointed line is where it's going to go into. The flat line is where it's taking it from. So when you're rotating it, make sure that the pointed line is going into the item that you want it to go into. So this is going to take coal. So we're going to just put this. It doesn't matter where it goes because it's highlighting the box around the boiler. It can go there, there, or there. It'll still work. And that means it's going to take from this, whatever's here, into there and power that. So now we need to feed a line of coal from here down to here. So if we go into our crafting and we go to logistics, you can go to transport belts. Now transport belts are the same as small electric poles. So for every one you click here, it makes 2. And all you need for these is 3 iron plates. Because what's happening is it's using 1 iron plate and then a gear. And a gear is 2 iron plates. So we're just going to make a batch of these. And while it's making that, we're going to go over to this tab, the productions tab. And we're going to want to make an electric miner. Just 1 for now. Because we need some more iron. I'll grab that. So we make 1 electric miner. So the electric miner is going to power off the coal, and it's going to just be a designated line for feeding this, which will then allow us to turn anything here into an electric miner. So as you can see, the electric miner is a lot bigger than the coal miners, just the burner miners. Not only in size is it about what is it? It's about twice the size of it in size, but the little green area around it is the area that it mines. So it doesn't just mine the area it covers, it mines the surrounding block as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put that there. Now it's obviously not powered. It doesn't have any power going into it because we haven't even started our power yet. So what we can now do is take a electric line and we can click, and if you hold it, it shows you the area. Well, if you just hover it anywhere while you're trying to put it down, it shows you a square. Now the blue square means that is the area of which it will power. It will power anything within that. So if there's an item that needs power, it has to be within the squares. So there is a certain distance that these can travel, which is there. So if you just keep going, it will show you, because obviously the cable will connect. The other trick to do is hold it from the place you put it and just move. And as long as you keep the key held, it will put it at the maximum distance and put a new telegraph pole down. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to here, and then we're going to go down. I'm just going to go down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm making these blue squares touch these. Like so. So now these don't have that little power symbol on anymore. That now has a red symbol, which means it's connected to the power line, but there is no power. So we need our belts. And we're going to take the belt. So the belts work like this. So the little yellow arrow that comes out of there, the belts feed basically anything that comes onto them in a direction. So if I was to, we'll get into belts a bit more, because there are different types of belts as well, and there's different logistics you can use. So the belt there I'm using is going to take anything that comes out of there, put it on this belt, and it's just going to travel. That's all it's going to do. So if you press R, it will show you how it moves. And as long as the lines follow, the little yellow lines are going the way you want them to, and they all match up, it will continuously travel that way. So what's that's going to do is take anything from this power plant, this little miner here, and just take it along this belt line until it gets to the end. If it gets to the end, it will just stop. It doesn't disappear, it doesn't vanish, it just stops. So what will happen is if this belt gets completely full up, it will just stop. This won't do any more, it won't do any more production because it can't output it. So what I'm going to do now is kickstart the engine. So I'm actually going to physically put in some coal into our steam engine like so, and kickstart the engine, which is going to power this, which you can see now it's powered up, moving, and that's powered up and moving. You can also see on the right hand side there is some green bars at the bottom. We're not going to go into too much of what they do, but it basically shows that there's power. Now you can see that there's coal moving along here, so that's good, because what that means is this little burner here, if we really wanted to, we could take this out now, just to show it's automated. The coal burner just fed itself with coal from this line, and then feeds the rest into here up to a maximum of 5. So this holds a maximum of 5 using this. So what that then does is produces power to that. So now we have a system where we don't need miners that burn coal. So we can actually get rid of these miners. But there's still a reason we need coal. We need coal to burn in furnaces. We need coal to burn in furnaces. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of that and that. Our furnaces are still going to be useful. But now we're going to make a few of these electric mines. But this is also a good point. If you want to, at this point, you can go into doing science backs, but we're going to cover science in a different video. I just want to show you how the resources work for now. Okay, so we have our electric miners here. Now we can also use electric inserters, which are going to come in quite useful now, because I'm going to show you how you can mix the coal and the copper and have them going into a furnace and then outputting them using a track. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the copper for this example. So if we put a miner here, and then we have a miner here. So we've got a miner each side. If we take a track that just comes off there, goes about halfway, and we take a track that goes there, and it goes about halfway, and then we point one directly upwards or down, doesn't matter which way. So on a track you have two sides. We're going to need some more power cables for this. On a track you have two sides. Now just a little tip, you can move these in any direction, by the way. It's just I like to try and keep them a little bit neat. If you ever hear that beep, by the way, it just means you're a little bit too far away. You can right click on anything you've put down to pick it back up again. Okay, so this is just to show you how tracks have two sides. So the copper, the coal that's coming in this side literally stays to that one side. The copper that's coming in this side stays to that other side. So you can put two items on one track. So if you can see, I'll just take this up here a little bit more with a track. So you can carry two different things. And now these could be two things that you've made in an assembler, which we'll get to later on. These can be two things that are mining, because of a lot of this will be doing mining. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put some furnaces up here, like that. We're going to power the furnaces. If we can. How many can we do? Should we just do three? We'll just do three. Make sure the belt's going up enough. And then what you can do is you can take electric inserters and you can insert into the... So what this will do, these inserters will take the required items needed. So it will take the coal and the copper. So these will continuously feed both of them now. So now you have a little... This is automated now. This is a little automated plant. So you can do the same thing for the iron. And this is the basics of automating the plant to get it up and going. So as you can see, this copper doesn't get used as fast as the coal doesn't get used as fast as the copper. So this is already filling up. And as you can see, when it comes out of here, it only goes onto one side of the track. That has nothing to do with how it comes onto this track. If you put it into this side of the track here, it will go onto this side of the track. So what you can then do is have another track going here. Have a box at the end if you really want. And this is to show you how inserters can take items out. Now, I showed you how the arrow pointing into something means it's going to put something into that. If I show you the arrow pointing out of something, it takes out of the box. Also, fact to note, it will always put, the yellow ones will always put it on the far side of the track. So as it takes something out, it will put it on the far side of the track. So if I had, say, some coal in this box here, so say I've got some coal in this box here, and I turn it to that side of the track, it will put it on the right hand side of that track. It will put it on the left hand side of that track. It's always the far side of the track that the inserter's on. So that's a point to note, because later in the game you might want to you might be inserting things you don't want into certain boxes, because you might want to keep certain boxes dedicated for certain things. Or you might be wondering, why is that inserter putting it on that side? Because that doesn't help what I'm trying to do. So this is an automated system now. A little tip for mining, if you want to get more out of your miners, is to put 2 down. So what this will show you is how the tracks, even if I am putting copper on both sides of this track, when it gets to here, it'll still stick to that one side. But it will be given out twice as much. Now, I do have a nice smelting blueprint in my Discord, which is a lot bigger and a lot more complicated than this, but it requires learning the sciences, which we're going to move on to in the next game, is how to start upgrading your base. This is the basics of mining items. You can play around with the crafting of things in here. Combat, you can have a look at some of that if you really want. Mess around with some of these. Pipes carry fluid, by the way. So if you make a pipe down here, I'm just going to make some of these. You can carry any kind of fluid. So what will happen is, this is an underground pipe. So this means it can go underneath tracks and things. So if I connect that up to that water there, I can follow it along. There's a maximum distance, much like the pylons, and output it there. And then you can see it's still got water coming in there. Note to self, if you, for this one, so say this one here, when crafting items, this uses 10 pipes and 5 iron plates. So if you've made, say, 5 pipes and they're in your inventory, it will take the pipes that are in your inventory and just make enough to make this one, the pipe to ground. So if you've already got 5, it will make another 5 and then just take the 5 that are in your inventory. So if I do that, it's took the ones that were in my inventory already. So if you're wondering where items have gone, it's because you crafted them into other items. So I'm just going to go and take any of my copper that I had here and pop it into them. So that's our copper, automated. This is it's not a neat way of doing it, and it's not the most efficient, but it shows you all the basics of how to do it. So hopefully that's put you on the track to getting your base up and powered, and also got your miners and a small furnace plant going, so that you don't have to constantly dig this up yourself and put it in by hand and run around the map a lot. You can just run to the chests and take the items you need out in order to craft other items. But in the next video, guys, we'll go over how to do science packs and start learning how to start researching items and developing the base into something that you see more streamers or YouTubers or other friends doing on the game. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, give the channel a thumbs up. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers on here, so thank you so much for all the support you're giving already. All the comments are great, so any questions, please do ask them, and I'll see you next time.